There was a K-pop group that totally came out of nowhere and became so popular in an instant that their country, American pop singers, and the online world knew who they were with one song. Who else could I be describing other than Crayon Pop? They aren't your typical K-pop group. In fact, they almost didn't even exist in the first place. They were also blindsided by their success that might have actually led to their end. So we're gonna go over their history, the secrets of their K-pop company, and what happened to Crayon Pop. But before looking forward, I always like to look back. Crayon Pop's story really begins in 2011, when a photographer saw Hiatus' music video Roly Poly. He thought, I should create a K-pop group. And it started just like that. The man was Hwang Hyung-chang. He was a commercial photographer that, until watching that music video, didn't even listen to K-pop. But eventually, he created the label Chrome Entertainment and soon started the search for possible girl group members. But he wasn't looking for the typical K-pop idol look. He had a specific criteria. They have to be no taller than 5'4" or 165 centimeters and not have a girl crush or a sexy vibe to them. The total opposite of what was popular then and still even today. So from auditions to girls being scouted from other groups, Chrome Entertainment found the 5 that would create Hurricane Pop. That was their name until they eventually changed it to Crayon Pop just after debuting, because the CEO thought using Hurricane was insensitive to the people of Japan since they just suffered a tsunami that year in 2011. The members would train for as long as 1 year to as little as 2 months with the latest edition of Way. Crayon Pop spent time in Japan promoting and performing before debut, where they also filmed their debut music videos. But instead of making their debut in Korea, they also simultaneously made their debut in Japan, kind of, by releasing the song Bing Bing. You can already tell what concept and style they were going for. Something totally different, quirky, and out there. Kind of like what group's Orange Caramel was doing, who also started around the same time, which I covered in a separate What Happened video. If you want to watch that, click on the card in the top right that just popped up right now. Back to Crayon Pop, they finally made their Korean debut with the song Saturday Night. Now, if you recall what I said, everything started from Hyung-chang, the photographer, seeing Hiatus' Roly Poly. And when you compare Saturday Night to that, you could say that he was really inspired by Hiatus. They went on to release a Japanese version and eventually released a mini album, promoting with their first appearance on a music show on M Countdown. Like many newly debuted groups not from a big company, and in this case a brand new company, Crayon Pop's commercial success was simply non-existent. Them being rookies with the concept they were running with was probably what led to this. And if that wasn't bad news enough, the CEO and founder revealed that the first mini album Crayon Pop created depleted all the company's money. Suddenly him and Crayon Pop were hit with the reality of the business of K-pop. I mean, think about it. He himself had no experience in management. It was a new company, Crayon Pop was their first ever group, and on top of that, they really didn't have much money to work with. He said later in an interview that if he knew how difficult it would be, he probably wouldn't have created Crayon Pop in the first place. But instead of calling it quits, later in the year, they went back to the studio to put something new together. Crayon Pop produced a single album with a remix of their old songs, but also one new one. Dancing Queen was fun. The girls didn't take themselves too seriously, wearing school uniforms with tracksuits underneath, and they pushed even further into what looked as weird. And believe it or not, it kind of worked. Not in the typical way, because on the charts you couldn't find Crayon Pop's name.
Crayon Pop.
And they only got invited 3 times to perform on music shows. But by chance, one of those times, someone saw them and was impressed. That person turned out to be Super Junior's Shindong. He went on to actually applaud Crayon Pop, saying, "I'd love to produce a girl group like them." That was huge praise coming from a member from a senior group like Super Junior. This gave Crayon Pop and the company a feeling of, wait, we might actually have something here. But it was a very much uphill battle. Like I said, they were only invited on music shows a couple times. As a result, they were only left with one option: guerrilla performances. Basically going to the streets and performing to small crowds on their way home, sharing their new song Dancing Queen to whoever would listen. Crayon Pop was doing this in the winter in Korea. in 30-degree or 3 degrees Celsius weather. Let's just say you wouldn't catch me dancing in that. But the girls did it for months. Over that time, those street performances, along with their own produced reality show Crayon Pop TV, the group was building a fan base from the ground up. And they also grew a unique fan base at that. Crayon Pop was having strong support from what they called papjushi, uncle fans. A play on the word ajushi, which means older man. It was odd, but they weren't picky with the fans they got. I mean, whether you like it or not, we are all gonna be old K-pop fans one day. In the beginning of 2013, Crayon Pop returned to Japan to hold a mini concert. And maybe it shouldn't have been a mini concert. Because in less than an hour, tickets were completely sold out. The demand was so high that Chrome Entertainment announced another concert would be held at a later time, and even a third one. Soon after, Crayon Pop teased a new song they were working on with another unique look. This song was the one that brought Crayon Pop from performing on the streets to performing across the world.
Get set, ready, go!
Bar 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 is the song everyone knows Crayon Pop for, and for a good reason. Crayon Pop put on helmets to add to their already one-of-a-kind look. And don't get me wrong, Crayon Pop and their company didn't dump a ton of money into this comeback. They filmed the music video at an abandoned amusement park, and it's probably one of the cheapest music videos ever filmed. Spending only, get this, a total of $347. But like magic, the music video began to take off. Like, really take off. Reaching millions of views in only a couple months, it went completely viral with their different look, simple dance, and adorable song. And for really the first time ever, Crayon Pop entered the Korean music charts, slowly rising to the top spots. They also broke into Billboard's K-pop Hot 100, ultimately taking the #1 spot. Very quickly, Crayon Pop was booked. From variety shows and TV shows, they were also invited back on music shows. And upon their return, Crayon Pop 1 week went head-to-head with EXO while they were promoting Growl. And they won. The success from Bar 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 was ridiculous. Crayon Pop signed with Sony Music Entertainment for music distribution and further international opportunities. Chrome Entertainment, from a $300 investment, made $2 million from this hit song by the end of the year. The girls would end up moving into a luxury villa as well. But this growth was slowed down a bit when Crayon Pop was caught up in Korean politics. Netizens believe Crayon Pop was affiliated with a right-leaning website. Member Way used a saying on Twitter that was also popular with the website. Chrome Entertainment had to clarify that she was just doing aegyo, but the story began to get out of hand. Events and brand deals for Crayon Pop were cancelled or postponed due to the public's concern. This controversy carried over into 2014, when another member, Ellin, was accused for using a specific hand sign also popular with that website. But it was just simply her making the letter E. Chrome Entertainment went on to explain that the members each have their own hand sign using the first letter of their names. Still, this was just a small speed bump, as the boom from their big first hit gave them opportunities to perform around the globe. From China for a festival, to Los Angeles for KCON 2013, to holding their first solo concert in Korea called First PopCon in Seoul, where it was completely free to attend and it was actually broadcast on live TV, to a second solo concert, Second PopCon in Tokyo, and even with the help of Sony Music, flew down under to Australia, holding performances, fan meetings, and a classic guerrilla performance in front of the Australian Opera House. Also meeting the legend Chani himself. Shout out my man Chani.
Hello?
Oh my god, you're so cute!
Can I have you?
Wrapping up 2013, Crayon Pop attended, performed, and won Best New Female Artist at the Mnet Asian Music Awards in 2013.
Crayon Pop. 2013 Mnet Asian Music Awards 신인상 여자 수상자는 크레용 팝입니다.
and even more at other end-of-the-year award shows. The beginning of 2014, Crayon Pop teamed up with Korean rock star Kim Jong-un to make a song and concert to raise funds for firefighters and the families of firefighters who lost their lives while serving. Later, Crayon Pop dropped the follow-up to Bar Bar Bar. Could it live up to the hype? Well, it definitely lived up to the randomness. In ADD, Crayon Pop mixed old with new, taking samples from traditional Korean trap music and new house sound, even in the clothing choice of using the traditional hanbok or Korean dress. Still riding the wave from Bar Bar Bar, ADD got over 1 million views in a day and the song performed decently on charts. The girls then began to branch out into singing for dramas, and even Choa making her acting debut in High School Love On. They again went traveling to put on shows at festivals and concerts, but one of those events really stood out.
오늘 공연해야 돼가지고 일정이 조금 빡빡합니다. 레이디 가가를 뵈야죠 오늘?
The massive hit of Bar 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 made it all the way to America, where Lady Gaga saw it and was interested in having the group be her opening act in shows on her US tour. They of course agreed and packed their helmets to meet the singer and perform across the United States. Crayon Pop kind of became the pride of Korea for a second, spreading Korean culture and music around the globe. Not too bad for a group that came from literal nothing. With all that money Crayon Pop made over the past 2 years, they finally spent some of it on a high production song and music video. The second mini album had this title track FM, which was actually written by K-pop hitmaker Shinsadong Tiger, famous for making some big EXID songs. FM was like a step forward for Crayon Pop in a way, but still staying true to what makes them different from any other K-pop girl group. And the first time they ever performed this new song was actually in Austin, Texas for K-pop Night Out at South by Southwest. From the end of 2015 to 2016, they officially debuted in Japan with brand new tracks that peaked as high as number 17 on the Oricon charts, one of the biggest Japanese music charts. In September, now back in Korea, Crayon Pop was teasing a new comeback in which the members finally got a bigger role in the production of the album. With Dudum Chit, it was the first time they ditched their iconic look and went with a more modern K-pop one. But you still feel like they kept that charm we grew to love. But while promoting this new song in the first week, Soyul stepped back to deal with anxiety. Then later, through a post online, Soyul announced she's actually engaged to former idol Moon Hee-jun, and that she was pregnant while they were promoting this new album, with plans to get married the following year. That was absolutely a shock to everyone, and it quickly became the talk of everyone online. Still, Crayon Pop continued as 4 until March 2017, when the members' contracts with Chrome Entertainment was set to expire, which they eventually did, but all would re-sign with Chrome except Soyul, who started her new family. This contract was non-exclusive, meaning Crayon Pop would still be handled by Chrome, but everyone can still sign with other companies for solo activities. That also means Crayon Pop as a group is on indefinite hiatus, and will likely not have a comeback in the near future. And if you're watching this video, you've probably already seen the Asian Boss video where they interviewed Way, in which she explained what it was like being a K-pop idol. What surprised everyone about this interview is that she explained with the success of Bar 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 and the tour with Lady Gaga, her and other members were expecting a decent paycheck, but in fact, they owed money to the company.
초반에 특히 이제 신인 때는 그렇게 막 수익에 대해서 회사한테 막 자세히 물어보거나 이러지 못해요. 그래서 레이디 가가 콘서트 가기 전에도 뭐 어쨌든 큰 이벤트이다 보니까 당연히 그래도 좀 돈을 벌 거라고 이제 생각을 하고 이제 갔다 와서 이제 뭐 정산이나 이런 걸 할 때 너네는 각자 앞에 얼마의 빚이 생겼으니 너네가 한 달 동안 미국에 갔다 온 동안 행사도 못한 것도 있고 하니까 빨리 앞으로 이제 행사나 이런 걸 해야 너네가 그런 빚을 갚을 수 있다 이렇게 얘기를 하시는 거예요. 그래서 너무 깜짝 놀라가지고 빚이 생겼다고요? 그래서
That was insane to hear. Now with Soyul and Kyumi starting their own families, ellin and Way are streaming and becoming more like content creators and influencers, they are probably making more money doing that than when they were in Crayon Pop, to be honest. When asked if Way would want to be a K-pop idol again, she said this.
좋은 노래하고 춤추고 이렇게 좋은 에너지를 그들한테 주고 음악으로서 그런 것들에 대해서는 다시 하고 언제든지 다시 하고 싶긴 한데 그런 아이돌적인 생활을 다시 돌아가고 싶진 않아요. 왜냐면 이미 다 충분히 했다고 생각을 하기 때문에 미련이 있거나 그립거나 그렇지는 않은 것 같아요.
I think how strict and bad the company treated them is based on how new everyone was to K-pop, especially the company. It is sad to see, but now if you know their history and how the manager wouldn't have done it if he knew how hard it was, it makes you wonder that all of this possibly wouldn't even happen if not for his single decision. But the group wouldn't have had the experience they had, lessons they learned, and love they had for simply performing, no matter if it's on the cold streets or in a packed concert. That's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like, and remember, only 16% of people that watch my videos are subscribed. So if you're not already, hit the subscribe and the bell so you don't miss out on a new video and a new What Happened video. Now, what do you think about Crayon Pop? What do you think about their story? Also, the fact that Crayon Pop shouldn't have technically worked in the first place, but it was meant to happen. I wasn't even there to follow them, but I was proud for them. I think the members are a lot more happier now than they were before, of course, but the experiences they had is what made them them. I mean, you can't take that away from them. Now I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons for making these videos possible. If you want to help out, head over to Patreon, consider supporting, and it's only $2 a month to keep these videos going and support me and my channel. And we're still on the road to 250,000 by the end of the year. We're gonna hit it, but I might have to raise the stakes to 300,000 by the end of the year. For as bad of a year 2020 was, we gotta be happy for what we got, you know? But yeah, that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. 안녕.